Okay, so the first page that you're going to see when you log into the admin area for your coupon site is the basic info. You've got the number of active websites, which is the number of merchants that are actually live on the coupon site. You've got the number of inactive websites. You've got the number of active coupons and the number of expired coupons. There's also the number of tags listed as well, and those are the categories that the stores are put into. So moving on, the first page that you can make changes to is the basic settings. The first two fields are for the site URL, so please don't change these, because if you do, you could end up breaking the site. Then you've got the website name. You can set this to whatever you want. This site is called Coupon Codes King, so I've just called it Coupon Codes King with spaces in between the words. Then you've got fields where you can add your Facebook, Twitter and Instagram accounts. Now, I recommend setting up new accounts on each of these social networks with the name of your coupon site. This not only gives your site extra credibility, but you can also use these profiles later down the line to start driving extra traffic and visitors to your coupon site as well. Then there's a field to add a URL to your blog. Now, this is another thing that I recommend having, your own blog, which is a separate section of the site where you can publish articles and do features, and this is great for getting backlinks and adding content that Google like. So if you want us to add a WordPress blog to your site, just get in touch with us and we'll sort that out for you, and this is where you'll add the URL once that's done. Then there's some quite advanced features which you don't really need to change if you don't want to, but here you can change the name of the page that lists all the stores A to Z. You might just want to leave that as A to Z stores. You can also change the URL there if you want to, and same goes for the latest coupons page. And the final bit in this section, you can add any code that you want to the header or the footer. Now, you might want to use this for Google Analytics or your Facebook Pixel, or any other kind of tracking that you want to use. The next section is the homepage slider. You can change the URL here to include any image that you want, although you don't need to do that, and you can upload new images straight from the site appearance section if you want to instead. You can also set the URL that the image is linked to and the alt title that the images have as well. So in total you've got 3 images that you can add to the slider. The next section is the home page content. Now, this is where I do recommend that you start personalizing the content of the site to make it unique to you, because this is really going to help with Google. So you've got your homepage meta title. As you can see here, it just says find coupons for thousands of stores, but it just wants to be a short phrase that describes your site. Then you've got a meta description, which is a similar thing but just a little bit longer. The search bar text is the text that appears before somebody types in to search something. Homepage header is pretty self-explanatory. Then you've got the homepage text, which I recommend you rewrite in your own words and make it over 100 words. This is the first thing that people are really going to read when they come to your site. You can also change the other headers on the homepage, and you can edit the message that says that when people click to reveal the code, it will open a store in a new window. Now, this is particularly important for Europe, because you do need to have a message that informs your visitors that when they click to reveal a coupon, it will open the site up in a new window. This is just one of the rules that you have to follow. You can also edit the header for the categories, and you can add up to 3 different sections in the sidebar with whatever content you want there. Plus, you can add any text above the footer of the homepage as well if you want. The next section is the individual stores pages. Now, on these pages, you can use store_name and store_URL within the text, and it will replace that phrase with the name or URL of that store. So, for example, you could say get store name promo codes and up-to-date active codes for store URL, and this would change it to get Amazon promo codes or up-to-date active codes for Amazon.com. So you can also use this in the meta description and in the intro as well. So I definitely recommend personalizing these things to make them unique for Google. There's also some advanced settings here where you can change the headers for active coupons, active deals, expired coupons, expired deals, where it lists codes for other stores, the header for the store description, the header for related stores, and a generic deal. Now, this is something that I added because if a particular store doesn't have a deal that you've entered or a coupon that has been drawn from the coupon feed, you still want people to be clicking to go through and visit the site and drop in the cookie. So I recommend having some generic text that says something like click here to visit the latest offers from store name. Then you're not going to lose out on so many clicks just because you haven't got a deal featured. So you can edit the generic deal title and generic deal text there as well. Plus you can also add text above the footer as well. This is just generic text that will appear on every single store page, so it's not for any particular store. Now the final settings allow you just to add some text above the A to Z list of stores, and you can also change the meta title for the page that displays the latest codes. So once you've updated anything here, you need to save to update the settings. And I recommend doing it as you go along. Once you've made the first few changes, go down and click save so that if anything goes wrong, you're not losing all of the data that you've inputted. So moving on to the merchant list, this is where you will see all of the stores that are currently added to the site. Then you can see whether or not you've added a unique description for that particular store or not. And this is something that I recommend you do over time. And you can also click to add or edit the description there. Then you can see the number of offers which have been added for the store. Now, offers are things that you add yourself if you want to. You don't necessarily have to, but if you want to add special offers because maybe the merchant has got in touch with you and asked you to do it, or you've seen something that's particularly good on the site that you want to include, but it's not a voucher code or a coupon, then you can add it there. The number of codes are the number of coupons that have been added by the coupon feed. Now, not every single store will have them, and some will have a lot more than others. You can list the number of stores by the number of codes that they have in ascending or descending order. Now, this is something that I recommend you do when you're starting out. You can list them to see the stores that have the most number of codes, and then you can focus your attention on signing up to the affiliate programs for the stores that have the most amount of codes. Now, obviously there are thousands of different stores to add, and it's going to take you a while to get them all added, but it makes sense to focus on the ones that have the most codes to start with. The next column shows you whether or not you've uploaded a custom image for a particular store. Now, this is something that you can do if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to, because there's a generic image that just shows if you don't do it. In the next column, you can activate or deactivate a store. Now, deactivating it doesn't delete it, it just means that it will not be shown on Google and nobody will be able to find it by searching on your site. So if you get declined for a particular merchant, you might choose to deactivate it because you won't be able to make any money out of that store anyway. This is good practice because you don't want to be having to add lots of unique content for stores that you're not going to be able to make any money out of. In the next column, you can add a coupon or an offer, which is very self-explanatory. And the next column shows you what network a particular store is on. SS stands for share a sale, and I'll pop a list underneath this video of each network and what the code stands for, so you'll be able to know what they are. Finally, you can see whether or not you've added your own affiliate link for a store, and if you haven't, you can just click edit and paste in your affiliate link. In later videos, I'll be showing you how to get your affiliate links from each network, so you'll know what to do here. Then moving on, we've got the page manager. Now, this is where you can add different pages to your site. You just click add new page, you add the page title, the page URL, and you use the editor to add the contents to your page. You can also choose whether to include it in the header and the footer as well. Type of pages that you might want to add include privacy policies, an About Us page, your cookie policy, your contact form, or you can use it to add articles to the site or infographics or things like that. This is a good way to attract backlinks, and the more content you add, the better in Google's eyes your site is. Add new merchant is where you can add a merchant to the site yourself. Now this is something that you don't need to do because we're adding them automatically for you. But if you find a store that's not on one of the networks that you want to add yourself, then this is where you can do it. You've got the website title, which is the URL. You've got the name, the affiliate URL, the description, whether or not the store is active on the site, and whether or not it contains adult content. Now, I've put this on because if you're using Google AdSense to monetize your site, they don't want AdSense displayed on sites that have adult content. So if it's an adult store, you want to tick yes. Then if you do decide to put AdSense on at a later date, you're aware that it shouldn't be displayed on those pages. You can select the affiliate network here and also the network program ID. Now this is something which will be different for each affiliate network, and I'll be covering this in depth in a later video. And finally here you can select the category that the store falls into. Then you would just click submit to save the new store. So next along we have site appearance, and this is where you can change the color scheme for the site. You can also upload your own logo, your own favicon, and the sliders for the home page here as well. And we'll soon be adding a file manager section here as well, where you can upload any images that you want to use on pages that you create yourself. So keep an eye out for that. Finally, we've got the pop-up section where you can add a pop-up alert which will display on either the home page, the store pages, or static pages. You can set the delay in seconds before it appears, you can set the width in pixels, and you can set the speed that it fades in at. You just paste the code in here and click save. Now this is particularly useful if you want to add a sign-up form. For example, you could have an alert that says please sign up here to join our mailing list and receive the latest promo codes by email. And this is a good way to build your email list. So that just about covers everything in the admin area.